Okay, perhaps not surprisingly, I've changed my mind on Warntech. As you can see, I've changed the About page to match it. I've decided what I'm going to do instead is set up a site where we can record when people are wearing interesting things in various locations, in my neighborhood and stuff. So that was my dog shaking his head. He doesn't seem to agree with this. I've decided I'm going to have posts, kind of like a blog, but different because we're going to organize it by neighborhood probably at some point. For now, though, I need to be able to have a kind of a new sort of node, a new kind of content. Again, disagreeing. A new kind of content, and this content will be content that includes the name of the location, probably its address, a little bit of a note. Eventually I want to have a photograph, but for now I'm going to leave that aside. Probably the longitude and latitude. I might even want to throw up a map of where to find this place using a Google Map input at some point. So to do that, we need to have a new kind of node that can hold all this stuff. Now take a look real quick. I'm already logged in. If I go to Administer and I go to Content Management, I can add new types of content. So I've got a bunch here. I can add a content type. But basically, all I can do is choose from the sorts of fields that we already have. Things like title and location. I can't add in these new fields, these new forms. So one thing I need to do is be able to change the node in some ways. And eventually I'm going to need to be able to view that node in various ways in different kinds of lists. So I'm going to grab a couple of modules that are really important to a lot of builds. One of them is called CCK, Content Creation Kit, and the other is called, let's do a quick search here, and the other is called, Content Construction Kit, and the other is called Views. So let's start with this. Let's go ahead and download. Here we've got it right there. Rather than going through the whole SSH thing this time, I'm just going to do it the easy way and unzip it here. Unzipping that is actually a two-step process, at least with 7-zip. If you're on a Mac, it goes a little bit quicker, but with 7-zip you have to pull it out of the GZ part and then you have to untar the tar part. But then you end up with this, which is the CCK module. And then we also want to get views. So we'll download that module. Notice here that I'm downloading the module for the 6.x version, not 5.x version, because we're running Drupal 6 right now. Pretty soon you'll be able to, if not already, you'll be able to download Drupal 7. Drupal 7 will actually, I believe, include both views and CCK. So if you see this not right now but in a later class, that doesn't make any sense at all. I may have to go back and revise this since you won't have to deal with actually doing these. Alright, so now let's upload these to the server. We're going to open up FileZilla and open up the Warntech site. Now the question is, where do these go? You'll see that we have a place here for themes. Right now these are the themes that Drupal ships with. And there's a place for modules. Here's where all the modules that Drupal already ships with are, but I'm going to move in these two new modules, CCK and Views. It'll take a minute to get all of these up because there's lots and lots of files in there, as you can see. 527 files. I won't show you a shrimp on a treadmill. I'll just do a quick fast cut here, and it will all be uploaded. Alright, and so this is done. That was quick. Let's go ahead and now close out this, and we can take a look here at our modules. So we're going to go, we have to go back to our site, which is Warntech. And we'll take a look under Administer, Modules. And you'll see that we have the modules that are available and those that are activated. Here's CCK, which actually is a bunch of things that it provides. We want it to allow us to create new content types. We want to have new field groups. We want to be able to do numbers. We'll go ahead and have widgets and text. Right now we're not going to deal with user reference. We might be able to use that, so I'll throw it in there just in case. We probably won't need this, but I'll throw it in there again just in case. And again, we will do content permissions because we may want to protect certain pieces of information on these nodes. So you might have like an in crowd and an out crowd for doing these reports. So we've added those things in. And let's see. Here's views, and we want to go ahead and we'll just bring in all of the views stuff, and we're going to save the configuration. For now, we're just going to deal with the CCK part, and we're going to create new content. You'll see now that when we go to create content, oops, sorry, not create content, but create content types, content management, content types. You'll note that we have some new things up here, import and export, as well as fields. And we can manage the fields in each of these. Now remember, our issue with the built-in add content type was that it didn't have the fields that we need. For example, we want to have the longitude and latitude of things, and we don't have any fields yet. So let's start by adding a new content type. And we're going to call this place. And this is the human readable name, and we'll also, just to keep things consistent, also call it place. This defines a place where something interesting has been seen. So we're going to save the content type. Oops. That should be place. It has to be lowercase. Save the content type. Don't throw it away. Now we want to manage the fields on that particular item on place. So we're going to have a title still, the name of the place. We're going to have, we aren't going to use menu settings at all. So we've taken menu settings out. We will have a body where we disguise things. We're not going to have anything from the book. We aren't going to do anything with the revision form, although we should probably leave it in there for now. Path settings, comment settings, we'll leave those in there for now, although we probably will end up hiding them from most users. All right. Now we need to add a new field, and we're going to call it address. And we'll just do one line for an address. Chances are we would do a bunch of things, city, state, whatever, but we're just going to do one line for an address. That's what Foursquare does and other things do. So we'll just make this an open line that people can do. Let's see if we can spell address. Field type is going to be text, and it'll be a text field. So not a text area, but a text field. This is where it's helpful to know what input things look like in HTML, because you'll see these are all kinds of HTML inputs. All right, and we will save this. If we were doing it as an address, we might have a whole bunch of things, city, state, whatever, and put it in the address box. But for now, this is fine. Tell us where you saw it. And it's not required. You can include the address if you want, or not include it if you want. And we're going to save it. All right, so now we have an address. What else do we need? We'll put this up a little bit higher in the numbers. We'll do the title and then the address and then the body. All right. We also want to know the let's say the longitude. That's what we want, decimal. That'll work. It'll be a text field. You can enter in whatever you want.